OK, I'm just going to put it right out there. I think that it's time we change the Australian flag. Now, maybe you consider it disrespectful to say such a thing on Anzac Day, but consider this. The reason our men and women fought, and in too many cases gave their lives, was to safeguard Australia's lifestyle and our freedoms. And one of those freedoms is the right to have an opinion. Now, when word got out that 60 Minutes was reopening the flag debate, we were inundated with hate mail. I have to confess that I copped some personal abuse as well. People are unbelievably passionate about the issue on both sides. This is Leichhardt in inner Sydney. When they built this beautiful old town hall, pent-up, passionate Aussies were arguing about independence from Britain.
Can I please have a turn?
Tonight, this mob is hot and bothered about a different kind of independence, about changing the flag. It's a high-octane issue that's been dividing us since 1901.
It's only an opinion, for God's sake. It's only a flag.
Southern Cross does incorporate a number of Aboriginal legends.
Oh, rubbish.
To them, I respectfully offer...
Leave that flag alone.
Let me finish. To those of you... Mate, you with the glasses, give me a fair go, OK?
Leading the charge for change is footy and literary heavyweight Peter Fitzsimons.
I say it is broke. If we have a flag where something like half the population aren't for it, it's broke. We need to come up with a symbol where we're all for it.
It is the proudest emblem that we could have as a nation, our flag of stars and crosses. And long may it fly aloft and free.
In the other corner is dedicated flag lover John Vaughan. He runs something grandiosely called the Australian National Flag Association.
And is still flying high here in Leichhardt and right across Australia. There's always a group that want to change a national flag, but the percentage in Australia would be round about 20%.
But do 20% of the Brits or the French or the Americans want to change their flag?
Look, I haven't asked an American lately, but you're probably right.
Or Frenchman or Englishman.
Well, we're a very democratic country and we like to be vocal.
The fact is, neither the Parliament nor the people chose the flag that we have today. Believe it or not, it began in 1901 as a sales promotion for a Melbourne magazine. It was sponsored by a tobacco company. And the unwritten rule for that competition was that the winner had to have two ingredients, the Union Jack and the stars of the Southern Cross, just like the Victorian state flag. Little wonder there's been controversy ever since.
You didn't have to be on the electoral roll to enter in the competition.
Who voted for it? Who are all these people that voted for it?
Here are the rules of that competition signed by our first Prime Minister, Edmund Barton, and you must stop telling that lie.
Our Australian flag will change in time. You people that are against change, you better bury yourselves upside down because you'll roll over in your grave.
The story of our flag is filled with emotion and with myth, especially on Anzac Day. This is the day when the red, white and blue is waved passionately and patriotic, in memory of our fallen, lest we forget. But while the Anzac spirit may be sacred, the flag certainly isn't. The fact is, this wasn't the flag that most Australians took to war.
The hoariest line of all about why we should keep the flag is, my father or my grandfather fought and died for that flag.
Peter Fitzsimons spilt blood for Australia in the Rugby Wars. He's also written best-selling books about Australia's military campaigns from Kokoda to Tobruk.
In Tobruk, that happens to be a genuine flag of one of the tank regiments. And
so that's the Aussie flag at Tobruk?
Well, that was the flag. I mean, the bond that they actually formed was, primarily with each other. And I've talked to a lot of these veterans. The actual Australian flag forward, Bluey died under the flag. No, Bluey didn't die under the flag.
Each morning I go to the flag mast, raise the flag to the masthead. I've been doing this since 1975, haven't missed a day.
Even flag lobbyist John Vaughan begrudgingly concedes that our diggers fought and died under a whole range of flags. can you possibly deny that those diggers who died on the Western Front or died at Gallipoli, if they were lucky enough to get buried, they were almost always buried under the Union Jack because that's what was available?
I'm not saying that there weren't, and there are instances where that is proven, certainly indeed. We were part of the Australian Imperial Force.
In fact, for most of the last century, our national flag wasn't the one with the Union Jack in the corner, it was the Union Jack. But that famous painting in 1927 of the opening of the Australian Parliament in Canberra, it's festooned with flags, the building is. All you can see are the Union Jacks everywhere, and the Australian flag is a red ensign, not the blue one that you say is the national flag.
I can't give you a particular reason for that, except...
What do you reckon?
Well, unfortunately, there is a void sometimes in Canberra in regard to flag etiquette and protocol.
But
And they get it wrong.
This is the opening of the Australian Parliament.
Errors were made.
So why does it matter? Well, the truth always matters. When I started school here in Tumut, my father worked on the Snowy Mountain scheme. That was the great Australian project. But the flag they had then for the official opening was the Union Jack. And every day we'd go up here to the primary school, we would sing God Save the King. And the flag that we saluted wasn't the Australian flag, it was the Union Jack. A few years later, when Queen Elizabeth first came to Australia, I stood here on the Mad Mile on the outskirts of Sydney. There were hundreds of school kids on both sides of the road, all lined up here. And we loyally and royally waved our flags as Her Majesty went by. The strange thing is, though, that we're Australian kids and she was the Queen of Australia, but the flag we waved was the Union Jack. The flag debate's certainly not new. For decades, politicians have argued for the removal of the Union Jack.
Go to buggery, England. We want our flag. We don't want the Union Jack.
A great flag for the United Kingdom, but no longer relevant to multicultural Australia.
We come from all the lands on earth. Let's have a flag that represents that. Thank you. My favourite line, Jerry Seinfeld comes out to Australia in the year 2000. He does this brilliant stand-up routine. He says, "I love your flag. Britain at night." Bingo.
We will only move ahead when we get people into government who are strong enough and have the will to tell the rest of the world to go to hell.
It's only been in recent years that our flag's been hijacked by extremists or used for political stunts, like when Pauline Hanson draped herself in the flag to launch One Nation.
We are proud Australians. We have been told to be tolerant of others that come here, but are they tolerant of us? It's not so much about the flag, it's what it represents.
The first time, I suppose, I looked at it and went, geez, I don't think that's doing it anymore, is when Pauline Hanson wrapped herself in it. Where it died for me was Cronulla Beach, where you had 5,000 people brandishing Australian flags, looking for people with brown skin to beat up.
That's really offended me because I am Australian as like them. You don't have to have blonde hair to be an Australian.
Nadim El Ghoul is an Australian Lebanese Muslim. He came here as a kid and he's fulfilled a dream with his own home, 5 children and life as a builder. But these days he won't go anywhere without his little piece of Australia.
This flag means that it's I am an Australian. I'm proud to be an Australian and my kids are Australians, and this flag represents me like everybody else in this country.
It's the next generation of voters who will probably make the decision on the flag, like the bright 16-year-old students at Jamison High School. These young Australians could give some of their rowdy, rude elders at Leichhardt Town Hall a lesson in manners.
I would definitely be upset if we changed the flag, because Britain colonised Australia and we should still pay respect to Britain.
I think we should have some sort of like a symbol that represents not just, 1 or 2 dominations of Australia, but every domination of Australia.
I think that because Australia is multicultural, the flag should add something that's multicultural.
Then an appropriate one would be to put the Aboriginal flag in place of the Union Jack.
Again and again, we found Australians of all ages agreed on one major flag change: the need to recognise Indigenous Australians. Aboriginal leader Warren Mundine has worked closely with all sides of politics. Is this flag your flag, Warren?
No, it isn't. It is not my flag, to be quite honest. That flag to me, and I'm a very proud Australian, there's a little part of that corner of that flag that represents to me dispossession. The most important part, the Australian population didn't vote for it. It was decided for us.
Until we find a new symbol, let's continue under the present symbol.
We've had dozens and dozens of suggested new Australian flags. Some of them festoon the town hall tonight. Others have come on websites and competitions over the years. The good, the bad, and the bloody ridiculous.
And here we have the ever familiar Qantas kangaroo with flames leaping out of its backside. These could well be an alternative flag if we drop the ball and lose sight of what we're doing.
The fact is, no other country in the world has such a confusing flag market. Two of the most popular, the Aboriginal flag and the boxing kangaroo, are privately owned. Just have a look around us. In Australia, we've clearly got an identity crisis.
There's Aboriginal people out here, there are Chinese people out there are monarchists, Republicans. How do you bring all of that together?
Dutch-born Australian Hans Holbosch is out to solve the problem. He's one of our most successful brand designers. Qantas, Caltex, Woolworths, you see his work everywhere.
It's going to give us billions and billions of dollars, Ray, because to me that is brand Australia. By changing the flag, the sheer impact that it will have around the world of Australia changing the flag, the impact would be, you'll be in every newspaper in the world. Australia has finally come of age. We are changing the symbol of this nation. The flag is about the soul of the people of Australia.
Okay, all right, let's see.
It's one idea. It is an idea for a flag. I think that it is a fabulous time for us to stand up and say, we are Australia, we are a nation, we are independent from everyone else, we are what we are. And I think it is time to do that.
The flag that won that magazine competition over a century ago has served us well. But we're a very different country now, a different people, and we live in very different times.
People will say that this is disloyal, that this is unpatriotic. The extremists will say it's borderline traitorous. Hang on a sec. Is it that unpatriotic to say, on our national flag, I don't want the flag of another nation? Which one of us is unpatriotic here? I mean, give me a break.
Hello, I'm Amelia Adams. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for our brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.